What's up, guys? It's Hebrew Hammer with A&R Gaming, and I am so glad to finally be putting out this video. Today we're going to be talking about AFK Arena, and more specifically, my first impressions of it. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I love this game. This game is super cool, super fresh, and honestly, I'm kind of obsessed with it. But there are a few things that I do not like, and I feel like some of those things, especially for other people, might be a big enough turnoff that they will not want to end up playing it. So I'm going to save everyone some time here. I'm going to hit you up with, I tried to do 10 things that I like and 10 things that I don't, but honestly, I couldn't find 10 things I don't like, so you're getting 5 of them. So let's go ahead and talk about the game itself. First of all, this is a mobile game that is free to play for iOS and Android. It is a strategy-based gacha game, and it came out on April 10th globally. It's now April 24th, so it's just finishing up its second week now. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop right in. Thing that I liked, numero uno. It's massively popular. This is a pretty big thing for me because I love popular games. I feel like it gives me validation in what I like to, and I'm going to try not to dissect that any further than that. But in all reality, it's wildly popular. It already has about 26,000 subscribers on its Reddit, and on iOS it has about 45,000 reviews already. That's pretty huge for an iOS game. It's weird because this game kind of came out of nowhere. Like, it has a super generic title, and I don't even think that it was really in the coming soon list for games. It just popped up and everyone loved it. So that's a big plus for me. Just a huge player base in a game always is more fun, I think. Next, free-to-play friendly. This game's free-to-play friendly, guys. Not much else to say besides that. I feel like I am at a very competitive level, and I've only dropped $5, and that's all I plan to drop. And the reason why I dropped that, I will explain later on in the video. But even if you didn't drop that $5, I promise you, you would still be on a competitive level. So that is a huge bonus. Number 3, the AFK aspect. Okay, so as I play more and more mobile games, I've realized they suck up all your time, people. So the really nice thing about this, and one of the reasons why I think it is so popular, is because it has that AFK aspect to it. You can basically put your phone down for hours at a time, come back, and then guess what? You made progress. The biggest limiter in this game, from what I can tell so far, is just raw time. So it really feels like you're not missing out on anything by not playing, and that is huge right now. It kind of flies in the face of so many of the other really popular mobile games that we have, where you feel like you're constantly losing whenever you're not playing, which is exactly what those games want. So just to have a game like this to play around on is super refreshing. Number 4, no energy cost. So the fact that this game has no energy cost is fantastic, because I think we've all played games before where we waited, you know, the 10-20 minutes for our energy to refresh to hit a particular level, and then we get screwed over because we didn't do it right, and then we have to wait another 10-15 minutes. This game does not have that. Its 2 biggest modes you can hit infinitely, which is a lot of fun, and it can be very strategic because you're allowed to basically move around so many different aspects of your setting whenever you go into a game, like your placement or your lineup, things like that, and you can basically in real time alter things one after another. So it really helps out with strategy. But beyond that, it has tons of replay value, because if you want to just sit there and hit something all day, you can do it. There are other modes in the game that have a limiter to it, but it's not an energy based limiter. It's just like a hard cap of you can only hit this so many times a day. But the 2 big modes are no energy. Next, number 5, VIP tiers. So I like it whenever games have VIP tiers, because it makes me feel like if I am going to spend some money, I feel like a valued customer. I don't want it to be game breaking, but I do want like a little bit of bonus on the side. Yell at me in the comments if you want, but I think that that's only fair. That's what makes these games free to play, is people that spend money on the game, and I honestly think that they deserve to to get what they feel like they need out of it. And I do have some problems with the pricing structure of things, which I'll get to later on, but the VIP tiers themselves are very good, and it goes up to about 15 different levels of VIP tier, so it's pretty interesting. Number 6, shards and ladders. So I'm sure you guys have all played competitive games before. Basically, it has shards in the game, so it will group everyone together that have started within a similar time frame, and that allows you to compete with them within your own little ladder. So you're not competing against people that have been playing for months more than you, or however long whenever you get into this game. But I think that that's something that's very important for a competitive game, and I'm really glad that this game has it. Number 7, friends and guilds. This is another big one for me. I love playing the games with my friends, and I love getting into guilds with them and doing all kinds of shenanigans, and I get to do exactly that in this game. There's a whole bunch of different guild content that you have. There's more that I haven't unlocked yet, unfortunately, but I'm getting to that. There's lots of stuff locked in the later part of the game, which is kind of cool because it's kind of that carrot on the end of the stick. But yeah, it has a really good guild system in it, and I'm sure it's going to be expanded upon in the future. As far as the friends are concerned, it's not some bullshit system where you just have your friends list so you know where they're on. I mean, you do have that, but you also get to exchange hearts with each other. So you get to cozy up and send your buddies smooches. And but the more important thing is that you basically, all of those things accrue, and you get to use those as points to do summons. And it's not just a crappy summon filled with a whole bunch of junk you don't want. It's actually a legit summon filled with characters that you do want. So I think that's also important to note. Number 8, character reset progress. So this was probably the biggest surprise to me. I never thought a gacha game would do this, but basically you're allowed to reset all of the progress that you've done on a character in a 1-to-1 ratio for an incredibly low cost. Like, I've done it like 10 times already, and I feel like it hasn't hurt me at all. So yeah, it was really nice and refreshing to be able to do that, because I think we've all been in that place before where you level up a guy and then you just realize he sucks, or you get hit with the nerf bat, or another guy gets buffed and now he's meta. Anything like that, like, it's so freeing to be able to just reset the progress on all your new crap characters and then put them into something else. And not only that, it has another system where it basically allows you to keep other people leveled up to the 5th lowest person on your team. So lots of really cool stuff here that basically allow you to always feel like you're progressing and investing correctly. Number 9, lots to do and little time required. This is another big thing for me. We've all been in a situation where, we're really busy that day and we don't have time to play our mobile game, but we also want to progress in our mobile game. I have this all the time, and with this game, it only requires me to spend about 20 minutes on it, and it's not even required, it's a light requirement. But for like the things that I really want to do to like min-max the game, I only have to spend like 20 minutes on the game to do it, which is really nice. But the cool thing is that it doesn't just require that amount of time because there isn't a lot to do on the game. There's actually tons of stuff to do in the game. It's just that most of the progress that you get, once again, comes from just the raw time. So if you want to hop back in, you could still have tons of other modes. There's a ridiculous amount of modes in this game already. But like I mentioned, you can hit things infinitely. You don't have to wait at all. So whenever you have free time, you can just hit them. And everything that has like a hard cap is usually over the course of a couple of days to do. And everything's very fast to do as well. So there's lots of cool things here at play in this game that allow you to always feel like you have something to do if you want, but you don't need to do it. Number 10, different characters for different phases of the game. This is a pretty cool one for me. I'm so used to, with other gacha games especially, there's always like those high tier characters that you're constantly going after, and once you have them, it's just the leveling up process, right? Well, in this one, because the progression system's so long, which is something I'll talk about later on, it basically divides the game into 3 distinct phases, beginning, middle, and end. And for each one of those phases, you're going to have a different tier list for different characters that you're going to want. And I got to tell you right now, the ones that you want at the beginning are not the ones that you want at the end, and vice versa. So I think that's a really cool aspect of the game, and it plays hand in hand with that character reset progress, because it allows you to invest in all those early game people without feeling like you're hurting yourself in the end. So I think that that's a huge benefit to this game, and it makes everything feel just so much lighter. That you're not selling your soul whenever you invest in a character and then realize later on you're going to need someone else. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the things that I don't like. Like I said, there's only 5 of these, so buckle up for a short list. Number 1, unbalanced characters. Not gonna lie to you guys, there are a few characters in this game that every single time whenever I see them, I want to throw my phone against the wall. But this is a game that's still in its infancy, and you got to give it a little bit of time. And these characters aren't so broken that you'll never beat them or anything, but they're broken enough that it's a fairly obvious advantage whenever you go against them. That they're going to have on you. So I think that it's important to note, if you're someone that gets incredibly frustrated by things that are perceived as unfair, this might not be it for you. But keep in mind that it's very early in the game, and they do seem like they are balancing things. There's been a couple of patches already, and in all those patches they've been kind of manipulating items and things like that. So I think that balancing is something that they're watching, and I imagine that they probably will rectify the issues in the game currently. Number 2, greedy pricing structure. I'm no stranger to buying in mobile games, but I will say the pricing for what you end up getting, like the net progress that you'll end up getting for a lot of these deals, and I use deals lightly, is just straight up not worth it. The most value that you get out of anything in this game, as far as like cash money, would be the VIP system. So by spending and you're kind of inadvertently investing in the VIP system, you'll get more of a benefit, much more of a benefit out of that, from what I can tell so far. Number 3, RNG heavy. So superficially, you would not think that this game is very RNG dependent, but you'd be wrong, because it is very RNG dependent. Now, I will say, I think that this is more of a double-edged sword, because this game, the fact that in this game you can hit infinitely on things, it allows you to actually kind of abuse the fact that there is so much RNG in this game. I basically sat around like an idiot for an hour or 2 at a time even, and on a particular level that I'm stuck on, I'll just hit attack, attack, attack over and over again, see how things play out, and eventually I'll usually end up squeaking by. So if you're like me and don't mind doing that in the late hours of the night, you might like this game. But for someone who gets very easily upset and you actually do throw your phone against the wall, this game might not be for you. Now, number 4, tedious level and ascension structure. So in this game, there's basically 2 levels of progression, 2 layers of progression. There is your character's power level, which you'll increase, and that goes all the way up to like 350 or something like that, and that is a beast of its own. But on top of that, you also have a character tier ascension system, and to do that, basically you use duplicates of that character or particular characters in that faction for that character in order to increase your tier and ascend through all of the levels that they have, which there are quite a few of. So there is a lot of character progress. It is, once again, double-edged sword, because it is kind of like a carrot on the stick for me, but for other people, they might not like that. It could be seen as quite daunting, but I personally don't have too much of an issue, but I put it on the things I don't like list because I feel like it's pretty polarizing. Number 5, diamond pitfalls. So for new players, there are a lot of diamond pitfalls. They throw a lot of diamonds at you at the beginning, and even like later on. I'm constantly getting diamonds. I feel like I'm showered in diamonds, which is great. But at the beginning especially, they really want you to fall into these traps of throwing your diamonds at stuff that you do not need at all. So I'm here to tell you right now, if you're a new player and you're just starting out and you see those big shiny 40% off signs in the stores for like a piece of gear or whatever, really, don't fall for it. They're trying to trap you. save up those diamonds, only use them for pulls as of right now. Way later in the game, from what I understand, then you can start using the diamonds on some gear, like whenever you get to the legendary level. But for right now, especially at the beginning, stay away from them. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Just in summation of this game, I just want to reiterate, I do really love this game. I'm a huge fan of it. I highly recommend everyone to give it a shot, but just keep in mind those things that I said I did not like, and kind of measure them against yourself and what you know about yourself to see if it's worth the time investment. That being said, I will keep doing videos over this game. Probably going to be doing things like tier lists, character deep dives, basic strategy, character synergies, things like that. But a whole bunch of cool stuff. And also, don't forget to check out the rest of the Ultra Nerd content. We have a D&D podcast coming out soon. We have a movie review podcast coming, and we have a whole bunch of gaming videos out. A whole bunch of cool stuff coming down the pipeline too. You can check the description for our Twitter and Discord, and our website's coming soon. So until then, thanks for stopping by, guys, and game on.